If you ever thought about doing a road trip from Melbourne to Coober Pedy, camping under the stars, and visiting underground towns, then this video is for you. Over 9 days I visited 2 states, and this is how you can do it too. Hello, welcome back to another Travel 101 experience. Before we get started, we would love to know where you're watching from. Let us know in the comments below. Recently, I did a road trip from Melbourne to Coober Pedy and back in just 9 days. We started early from Melbourne and headed north to Sea Lake, which is where you'll find Lake Tyrrell, Victoria's largest salt lake. At sunset, the whole lake turns into a massive mirror and glows pink. While we were here, we stayed at Royal Sea Lake Hotel, which is right above a pub, which is so handy. Perfect for a hot meal after a long drive, and it's pet friendly too. After dinner, we headed down to see the Silo Art Show, which you can find in Sea Lake. It happens every night at 9 p.m. and you can't miss it. Day 2, we got up early and we headed to Renmark. This is a lush riverside town along the Murray. We stayed at Eco Holiday Park right on the river. This was a powered site and it cost $45 a night. Honestly, the views were something else. And this is going to be our first night sleeping in the van. The holiday park was super convenient. It was close to a pub, a cafe and a bottle shop. So we had everything we needed. And yep, there was more silo art too. One thing I loved about Eco Holiday Park is that at dusk, all the kangaroos would come out. I would definitely recommend staying here. Day 3, we headed from Renmark to Flinders Range. This felt like entering another planet. Red pigs, open skies, and it was just beautiful. We stayed at the popular Rawnsley Park station, which had campsites and cabins. And there was also a restaurant called Woolshed where we got pizza that night. This is dog friendly too if you're planning on visiting or staying around Flinders Ranges. We got a powered site for $45 a night, but they also have off-grid campsites, but you need a 4-wheel drive to access them. One of the things we especially loved about Rawnsley Park was all the trails that were connected to it. We spent so much time exploring, and we could definitely see why this is a popular campground. Plus, we also saw kangaroos here too. The next night, we decided to have a go at free camping at Parenchilna Gorge. But first, we visited the popular Prairie Hotel for a beer. Then it was time to go a little bit more remote. Reception was a bit spotty here, no toilets, no power, just you, your van and the stars. Luckily we had our Starlink so we could get reception. I definitely recommend one if you're planning on free camping. Parenchilna Gorge is so beautiful and definitely one of my favourite places we stayed on our trip. We even woke up to emus wandering around. This was definitely one of the most beautiful places we've stayed. Day 5 was a big one for us. We were heading down the Unundana track. From Murray, the sealed roads end, and it's about 200 k's on red dirt and tons of history. We firstly stopped at Murray Hotel to refuel and grab a bite before we headed down the track. It was rough, like really rough, but stunning. We even found a stop with art installations. So of course we had to stop and explore. It was a mostly quiet drive. We hardly saw anybody. A tip though is to make sure you check road conditions before heading out, as it is definitely not an easy drive. From here we arrived at Williams Creek Hotel, which is a tiny outback pub in the middle of nowhere. William Creek is one of the most remote pubs we've been to in Australia, but I have to say it was definitely one of the most vibiest. Everyone here was so friendly and really loved to chat. It was actually a highlight for our trip. The next day we were heading to Coober Pedy. This was another bumpy drive, but we kind of knew what we were in for. And when we got there, we were so happy. I'd never seen a place like this before. Everything in Coober Pedy is basically underground. Hotels, restaurants and church. And of course we had to stay in a hotel while we were here. We stayed at the Comfort Inn, which is pet friendly. And one of the most popular things to do here is visit a working mine, which we had to do as well. After that, we had a little go at noodling to try and find our own opals, but we had no luck. In the evening, we went to Wench 360 and enjoyed one of the most beautiful sunsets. The next day, we got up early and headed to Port Augusta. This was mostly a rest town for us. But we did of course stop at Matthew Flinders Redcliffe, and this was absolutely stunning. We stayed at Crossroads Eco Motel, which was a great stop on the way. The next day it was time to head to Murray's Bridge. This was a quiet town, and by this stage of the trip we were a little tired. We did explore the town a little bit, and of course we had to stop by the Bunyip, which is a little attraction you can't miss while you're there. Our final night on the trip as we were heading back into Victoria was to the Grampians. We stayed at Breeze Holiday Parks in Halls Gap, and wow, this place was beautiful. Firstly, the location was amazing, close to hikes, many restaurants, cafes, and scenic spots just everywhere. We hiked to the pinnacle, which took a couple of hours to make it up there and back, which is totally worth it. And this is where I saw the most kangaroos on our entire trip. Probably more than the whole entire trip combined. And they were around all the time, during the day, in the evening, and even in the night. And the next day we woke up and it was time to wrap up our trip by dropping off our van. This was definitely one of those trips that I would highly recommend, and I talk to everybody about it. If you've been thinking about doing a road trip from Melbourne to Coober Pedy and back, don't wait, do it. We hope you enjoyed watching our road trip. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all our Travel 101 experiences. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.